Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Sports Card Teachers. Sean here. And I know that one of your favorite things that we do here is our PSA submission reveals. So that is what we're going to do. I'm going to be open and honest with you today. This was not a good one. We tried to be, we're now to the point where we're with modern cards, we're typically 85% or better. We've had 100% batches that we've sent in with modern cards, with brand new cards, that type of thing. And I made a big mistake in this batch, and I didn't lose money, I can tell you that right now, because I've sold pretty much everything, but I struggled to make my money back on this batch. This batch cost me about $1,300 to submit to PSA. It's getting more and more expensive, guys, to submit cards, so be sure you know what you're doing before you do this stuff. I won't tell you exactly how many 9s I got or less in this batch right now, but I can tell you that it is significantly below what we normally do, significantly under 50% even. So not proud of this at all, but I want to share with you because so that I can hopefully help you or anyone out there watching. Don't make the same mistake I did. The unfortunate thing is I have a bunch more cards that are already sent out, and I realized the mistake that I made, and it's just unfortunate because I'm going to be struggling to make my money back on this batch. I'm assuming, I think it might be a little bit better than this one, but submitted 65 cards to PSA. Several of the same card was graded. So I have a Paige Bueckers base. It was her draft night from Panini Instant that I sent in because, well, the Caitlin Clark did really well the year previous. So I was like, I'm going to jump on the wagon for Paige, and she's having a great season. If you can get a 10, you're going to do well with that card, but I did not get many 10s, and very disappointing, and I have a bunch more coming back to me, and I'm just afraid it's going to be the same story, but I'll definitely post that video as well in here, so if you're already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe so you can see that. But let's get into this submission. Our first one was the Jaden Daniels Light It Up. Pretty cool card here. Took a 10 on this. I think that's a sweet card. Did really well on that, sold that already, but that was a 10, so I'm very pleased with that. Give you the back there as well, but that's a pretty cool card. Definitely harder because it's a black border, so you just got to be careful, but I was pretty certain on that one. Then we have a Marvin Harrison Hollow. This took an 8. If you look here, let's just take a look at the centering. I thought the surface was pretty good on these. Obviously, there are some issues with surface on any of the optic hollows. This one was worth it to me to send in. It looks centered. Surface, as I go around the border, it's kind of hard to tell in here, but just so I do take that into account with these as well. Do you see any pocks there? I don't see any pocks as I'm kind of zooming in. Let's go to the back of the card. Right off the bat, what's the problem? It's centering. Look at that thickness. Look at that thinness. I decided to send it in, just kind of hoping, you know, because a 9 still does all right, but we took an 8, so not good. Hoping for that 10, which would have been really nice, but it is what it is. Moving on, let's go to the next one, which is a Caleb Williams. Just watched him. Played really well at the beginning of the game, not so well at the end. It'll be interesting to see what his cards do as the season progresses, but this laser sweet card took a 10. Pretty happy about that. I'll let you take a look at the back there. Next is the Phoenix Jaden Daniels Rookie Rising. Took another 10. Pretty sweet card. This was the base, though. Was not any type of insert, but it's Jaden Daniels, so you have to do what you got to do. And happy with that. Good old Joe Milton. I really only sent this in because you never know what's going to happen with Dak. He's now a Cowboy, and it is a base, but I ended up selling this for, you know, I made a little money off it. Not a whole lot, but you never know what could happen with Joe Milton. All right, so now we're going to get into a couple of these Cooper flags that I sent in, all base. This was the last in his Duke uniform that they produced, so I decided just to send a couple of those in. Going to be hoping that his NBA stuff, which I'm getting some stuff graded already of him, hopefully that does as well as his college has done. This one gemmed out. The next one did not gem out, took a 9 on this. And like I said, there's not a whole lot. Corners look good. It's just really hard to see on here what's going on with surface. Maybe there was something surface-wise. There really isn't a way to, can't really be too off-centered. There really isn't any type of border on this. but we did take a 9 on that. And the next Cooper flag gemmed out, so we'll just go through that quickly. There was a gem. We got another Cooper flag 9. I'll click on that so you can see it. And as I said, guys, I know this isn't a super thrilling batch of new stuff, but it is what it is, and you got to send the right guys in. That's what we did. Took another 9, so 2 9s in a row. This is the Bowman U now. I usually do really well. Sometimes you gotta wonder if what kind of grader was grading these cards today. But anyway, it is what it is. Moving down, then we did gem on a lot of these Cam Wards, and I won't bore you with it because I sent a bunch of them in. But there was the 10 on this Cam Ward. Had a decent game yesterday if you're looking to invest in him early on here. He is on the Titans, but might not be a bad idea to invest in some of his stuff. I'll just kind of scroll through. There's another gem of Cam. Another gem, another gem, another gem, another gem. So we gemmed on a lot of these. We did take a 9 here. I'll pull that one up. And looks, so there's something a little, that might just be a reflection, but it looks a little weird. Can't imagine that was the issue just from the picture. But don't really see anything surface. Let's go to the back. And obviously there could be surface things in the back. You can't really tell with the computer image. But took a 9. I think that was the only 9 of the Cam Wards that I sent in. I sent a bunch of them in. Yep, only 9 so far. I just keep scrolling up. So we gemmed on most of those, which I'm happy about, and have sold most of those actually. Now we're going to get into the same card, and I think I sent in 33 of these Paige Bueckers. I only got 2 10s on the Paige Bueckers. So I'm not going to go through every card, but let's just go through this 9 real quickly. I will tell you the major mistake that I made. I was simply looking left, right, and if you look pretty centered on the left and right here, I was not. I don't know why I wasn't, because I look at these cards all the time. I guess I just never really had as much of an issue with them. Top, bottom, centering just absolutely crushed me. You can see there it's thicker up top than it is on the bottom, and that's pretty much the case for all of the 9s that I could go through down below. It's thicker up here. I'll go to another one. The next one is all right, you can see there's 2 more 9s. Same thing here. Look at the thickness. Look how thin it is in the bottom. Right, left look great. I just completely overlooked the vertical centering, which is super disappointing. Let's keep scrolling. Hey, we got a gem. So let me show you the gem. You can see the centering is much better. Look, it is centered top, bottom. It's centered left, right. So it has to be what was the issue. I don't know why, guys. That was a 10. We took another 9, another 9, 9, 9. Ugh, ugly. You don't know how upset I was when I was looking at this. More 9s, same card. More 9s, more 9s, more 9s. Continuing right along. Now we took an 8, so let's go into this 8 and take a look, because this is all to help us learn. Left, right looks good. Bottom doesn't look terrible. It is a little thicker up there than it is on the bottom, but it really, compared to some of the other ones, doesn't look super bad. Centering on the back doesn't look too bad. The only thing I can tell is the centering. Should there be a little gap between the writing down here? Should there be more of a gap? I didn't think that that necessarily mattered, but I'll let you guys comment on that if you think there's not enough space there at the bottom and that could be an issue. But it must be a surface issue that I just missed. I don't know, because the centering didn't look terrible. Then we go to a 6. We took a 6, and I think I took 2 6s. So let's strictly go to the centering. Maybe a little thinner on the bottom, but top bottom centering not terrible. Left right centering maybe a little thinner on the left, but still once again not off by a ton. Let's look at the back centering. Same thing. Don't notice anything. So I must have missed a major surface issue. Corners were perfect in my opinion. So I must have just missed the surface issue. I got maybe lazy. You can't get lazy when you're sending cards into PSA. Not anymore, especially as expensive it is to send cards in. There's another 9. We gemmed on another 10. We gemmed on another 10. So I did get 3 10s of her. Another 9. We took another 6. Let's take a look at this 6. Is there anything that reminds you of the same thing? I think the centering top bottom is worse on this one than it was on the other 6. Centering left right looks good. And then if you take a look, centering on the back doesn't look bad, so it must once again be surface. Gotta get the light on the surface, gotta get the magnifying glass if you need to. I must have just gotten lazy once again. Continuing 9, we took an 8 again. I'm not going to go into that. A 9, this is so painful. All right, so if you were counting, maybe you weren't, what do you think? Drop it in the comments what you think I got, and I'll let you know in a second. How many do you think I got? How many gems do you think I got out of 65 cards that I sent in? Drum roll. I sent in 65 cards and I got 25 gems out of that. Modern cards. I'll put the percentage, what that is, up on the screen right now because I don't even know what it is offhand. I can't do that math, but 25 of 65. It's pathetic. It's terrible for me with modern cards. So once, like I said, I'm looking over at my stack. I think I have 4 or 5 more cards to get through, but I've pretty much sold everything. I was in 1,300 some on this batch, and so far I'm at about 1,500-1,600, somewhere in that range of selling back. So you got to think what I paid raw for the cards as well. By the time I get the rest of these sold, you know, I may close to break even, or just about break even, I would say. If I'm at 15, I'm over. You gotta factor, let's say I'm $400 over that price, so it's pretty much a wash. So that's how it goes sometimes. You're not gonna be perfect. I hope I don't have to come on here again with the next batch that I'm getting ready to get back. But I am gonna come back on, but I just hope I'm not sad. I hope I'm at least over 50% on these, even though I have a bad thought about them. So what have you been striking out? Has Panini Instant been bad for you? Topps Now has done so much better for us as far as being able to grade and get 10s. Panini Instant, sometimes it just becomes a guessing game because it's either centering or surface, really, because it's clear as day whether it's corners. So it's getting tougher and tougher. I made a mistake. Hopefully we'll never make that mistake again. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was valuable to you. Hope you learned something from it. Please drop us a comment. Let us know your questions or anything you thought of or saw while I was showing you the cards. And if you aren't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.